Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fangirl to Music Industry Event Day 2. I'm so excited to be doing this event, excited for the panelists that you guys are going to be seeing, excited for the questions, and just getting to connect with everybody. I'm Sade. I'm the founder of Angelic Fashion House. We're a digital marketing creative agency that focuses on the music and fashion industry. So I'm going to let the panelists go ahead and introduce themselves.
I guess I'll go first. Hey, everybody, I'm Carla Jara, and I am a social media producer and digital marketer for the Bay Area. For four Bay Area radio stations. I've been working in the music industry for 7 years. I've worked in LA radio for the last 6 with a number of different roles. I started off as a promo assistant and just kept elevating within the company. But I recently relocated to the Bay Area. My day-to-day kind of changes each day. I mean, my tasks though include filming and editing artist interviews. I work with the sales department a lot, with the promotions assistant a lot. I work with the promotions department a lot. I also create social plans for staple events and for low key events as well. I get sent out to do a bunch of different things. So if I'm working with sales, sometimes they'll send me to a gas station, for example, to do some filming there. Or 2 weeks ago, I was in Disneyland for a live broadcast, which was a lot of fun. I do also use my fangirl skills often. For example, with the release of Harry's House yesterday, the label sent over high resolution versions of his album cover, and I got to create an animation for our social platforms with Five Sauce, Big Time Rush, and Why Don't We touring this summer. I'm getting to help create fun prize packages for fangirls from a fangirl, which I think is so much fun. And even though I am a department head, I have my own office, I have a company card and an office with a window, I am still a fangirl through and through. And I'm very, very lucky and very blessed that I get to utilize my fangirl skills and also get paid for it. But yeah, that's a quick gist of who I am. Thank you.
All right, I'll go next. My name is Janine, and I'm the founder of Sorority Records, which is a music and metaverse music and media company and a digital record label. I am a Grammy-nominated songwriter. I've been in the business a very long time, and I am happy to be here. I can assist people with learning how to collect their royalty checks. And also how to release independent music successfully and basically get paid to do what you love. Thank you for having me.
Hi, everyone. My name's Anne Marie. I'm located in New York, and I am the East Coast Production Finance Coordinator for HBO. So I do a lot of work related to sports productions, travel, and also just random documentaries and miscellaneous specials that we do for HBO. And in the past, I also have a lot of experience in videography. I've done internships and worked for the Jonas Brothers, also for Atlantic Records, Turner Broadcasting, and several other smaller radio stations, and also iHeartRadio. Concerts have always been really important to me. Music, being a fangirl has always been a big part of my identity. So it's something I definitely take into my roles and something I've used to really network. And I'm really excited to start talking about that with all of you.
Okay. You got it, Bailey. It's all you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Bailey Avery. I'm 24. I live in Houston, Texas, and I am a music journalist. I mainly write for a website called Bandit PR, which is basically like a nonprofit website. And I've pretty much been a fangirl my entire existence, but it didn't really come into full play music-wise until I got into One Direction when I was in high school, and I used to run some fan accounts dedicated to them and everything. So I don't know, with me not being as passionate as I am about them, I like to use that passion into other forms of music and also help with my music journalism. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it all.
Hey guys, my name is Zeka Mogbo. talent manager and founder of Uru Talent Management. We literally just started, and so we're in the crowdfunding stage. But overall, my experience, I guess, in the fangirl space kind of stemmed from listening to Arabic and French speaking music. And then it translated into my studies, and then it was as well as like projects with international artists and agencies. And so really excited to be here. And yeah.
Lovely, lovely. See all the talented panelists that we have. You guys get to connect with so many talented people. So for the panelists, what do you guys think people can do to get started working in the music industry?
I guess I'll start again. Keep that going. Okay. So I guess how to get started in the industry. When you're first starting, I think it's really important to just get your foot in the door absolutely anywhere, despite what you eventually what you want to do, whether that's social media, live events, PR, whatever it is. Just try to immerse yourself in the industry in any way you can. The industry is highly competitive, it's chaotic, it's cutthroat. And when you're first starting, it's also best to not be so picky, because sometimes you won't know that you're actually cut out for the industry until you're actually knee deep in it. I mean, if you go through my Instagram, my TikTok, and see all the cool things that I've done, all the artists that I've met, it looks like the industry is one huge big party. But the reality of it is that it can be very toxic. It can be very hard to navigate when you're a woman, but most especially when you are a woman of color. Also, sometimes you won't really know what you actually want to do in the industry until your foot is in the door. I didn't know I wanted to pursue concert and videography within live events until I was actually already working in radio, and a Justin Bieber event popped up and they gave me the opportunity to do coverage on it. And so it took that one event to kind of propel what I eventually set my heart to do. Also, apply to entry-level jobs, internships, volunteering opportunities to gain experience and to network. When I say volunteering opportunities, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be in the music industry. When I was working as a promo assistant on the side, I was volunteering for food festivals because it was technically a live event, and I was able to keep practicing my skills, meet new people, and build my resume. So volunteer anywhere that you can. Also, networking is key. I'm pretty sure everyone here can agree that networking is so incredibly important, because a lot of the jobs you'll get will be due to referral, especially if you want to do what I do, which is social media, and it's more of a creative field. It doesn't necessarily matter what school you go to, the type of major that you're in. All that matters is who you know and what you know. A lot of the gigs that I've gotten were on referral. It was because people in my network reached out to me directly and said, hey, do you want to work this thing? When you network, it's also really important to network and make genuine connections and friendships and bonds. Don't network just because you feel like you're going to get something out of it. Sometimes networking and building connections can take months or years for someone to actually say, hey, do you want to come and work this event with me? I worked an album release party for Yuna at her record label, and the person who reached out to me was someone I had known for several years at that point. And so it had taken me years of working hard, building my portfolio, and continuously building a bond with her before she actually reached out reached out to me for a job. One of my really good friends and colleagues, Carolina, she currently works in New York as she's working in broadcasting. But when I had met her, she was still in high school. And I had been with her and kind of guiding her throughout her academics. And when she finally graduated, I said, hey, we're hiring in radio right now. Do you want to come work as a part-time promo assistant? And so it took years of us building this bond and me seeing her work until I felt like she was ready and for me to reach out and offer her a job. So if you're trying to work in social media or any kind of creative field, I also highly suggest that you learn anything and everything. And I know that really sounds overwhelming, and it can be, but the reality of it is that many companies want power players, someone who can not only just post on social media and read analytics, but also someone who can create, someone who can go to shows and take photos, someone who could produce video, someone who can create create graphics or who can also write blog posts as well. Creative jobs are all about your portfolio, and it's really important to build them. My current job was something I never applied for. I didn't even know it existed, but the program director at the company I currently work for found me on LinkedIn, which then he found my online portfolio, and he was so impressed, he reached out to me. I feel like it's kind of just a lucky chance, but it does happen within the industry. So always keep building your portfolio, keep it updated, and push it everywhere. But yeah, so to get your foot in the door, just network, work your butt off, build your portfolio. It's going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of patience. When I first was starting, it was a lot of sleepless nights, early mornings, working for minimum wage, working for no money. So just keep pushing forward and just always, always, always believe in your work.
Definitely. I wanted to mirror what Carla was saying. I think versatility is so important, especially in terms of when you're first starting. Even if you don't know what you want to do, I'd say take any opportunity to get your foot in the door. It's really important to try different things. For me, when I first started out, I was in videography. I didn't know if that was exactly what I wanted to do. I ended up transitioning to like technology and entertainment, and then now I work in finance. So all very, very different. But I feel like what it's helped me do is really build that valuable portfolio. So when you go to a job and they ask you, what have you done in entertainment? What have you done for social media? You have all these different things that you can showcase. And that's really important, because at the end of the day, what you're doing on the job, you can always learn, but it's the soft skills that really make you a valuable player, a valuable asset to any team. So being able to switch at the drop of a hat, being able to switch perspective on topics, things are very fast paced in entertainment. So you really need to be able to be solution oriented and really be able to conquer any problems that come about. I also recommend networking as well. You never know who can help you get your foot in the door, who can help you get that next job. Actually, similarly to Carla, I had been reached out to on LinkedIn, and they actually offered me a job because they had seen my portfolio online. So make sure that you have this active social media presence, you have an active presence online. I recommend updating everything on LinkedIn constantly, being really active with your network. Just posting any accomplishments you have, any shows you've been to, even just in terms of photography. And I also recommend, if you can, creating an online website. There are a lot of different generators you can use. You can use Wix. They're like online programs. You don't have to code it from scratch. But those are really great, because when people are like searching your name online, they'll be able to see more of what you've done and kind of see who you are as a whole candidate, not just professionally, but personally, what have you been doing?
I also want to mirror what Carla and Anne-Marie were just saying. So before I ever became a music journalist, I was mainly looking for jobs that were about music journalism, because that's basically what I really just wanted to do. That was the only form of writing I'd want to do. But I realized sometime later, I can't just do that based off just music journalism. So the first writing job I ever got after that realization was actually a job as a pop culture writer for this website called The Things. And I was able to use that to allow myself to grow as a writer before actually taking on music journalism skills and bringing that to actual music blogging websites. And for a while, I just wanted to take on the articles that were just about music. So I was doing that for a little bit, but then I started just doing the regular gossip, celebrity gossip stuff, and I didn't like that at all. But I saw that as a way to continue to grow before I take on music journalism. And so I did that, and because I also did a lot of networking, quite a bit of networking, I should say, in the music industry before I actually pursued the music journalism career. My current boss at Bandit PR, she was actually helping me try to look for music journalism gigs before I actually started writing for Bandit PR. And so, and a couple other friends in the industry were also trying to help me as well. So looking back on that, I think that I do say that as well, that networking is something that you really want to do, because you never know who will potentially help you whenever you need it.
Yeah, and to add on, I'd say networking can be like kind of scary to people at first. I think, especially for people that are entering the industry, it can be really intimidating to approach somebody else, especially if they don't look like you, they're older than you don't have experience. But I'd say there are so many more people who are willing to help you than you would expect. So never be afraid to send that LinkedIn message, to go up to someone, just ask them about their experience, ask for a coffee chat. You'd be really surprised how many people really do want to help you, especially other women in the industry.
You guys have advice?
I would also
Go ahead.
I would also say that when you're networking, you need to make sure that if you're trying to get in the music business, you need to go to music business, music industry events. There are certain hubs like BMI, ASCAP, and CSAC, or even labels have Christmas parties. If you can figure out or award shows, if you can figure out where the events are, South by Southwest, there are music industry events that happen throughout the year, and you should make it your business to visit their websites and show up. If you really want to make a living, you have to be around the people that cut the checks. It's always good to make friends. Friends are great, but they're the people who can actually pay you and help you pay your bills are working at the companies. They're working at BMI, they're working at ASCAP, they're showing up at South by Southwest, they're with the labels, they're with the publishing companies. Show up to company sponsored events, because understanding how the business works starts with knowing who the players are. And that's how you find out who's who. When you show up to industry events sponsored by the companies that pay royalties. And that's what I got to say. Thanks.
For college students, what do you guys think that they can do to make their internship, cover letters, resumes stand out?
By the way, my dog is barking at our neighbors, so I apologize if you could hear him. He's just being a little guard dog, that's all, even though I know he can't do anything. But as far as students and internships go, so I actually have a love-hate relationship with internships, and the reason because is internships give extra access and elevation to a lot of privileged people. Of course, any student can apply to internships, but what if you're not a student? Or what if you don't have time to give 20 hours a week to an internship because you have to work to help pay for tuition or for books? When I was in college, I was able to have 2 internships out in LA, but that's because my mom gave me her car. So I had reliable transportation to get from Orange County to LA, which is roughly about 30 miles one way. The part-time job I had at Starbucks, I could decrease my hours because I didn't necessarily need the job to pay for books or for classes or anything. And if I needed extra money, my parents were always there to give me that. But not everyone has that. And internships are usually unpaid, and asking young professionals to pick and choose between their career or working as a waitress so they can pay for tuition and food is really, really messed up. But that being said, internships I feel like can be really great if you're able to find a good one where you are learning, where you're gaining hands-on experience, and are also in an environment where it fosters really good energy. I know that there are some internships out there where they completely exploit their interns and make them do really crappy work, and they're not learning and they feel exhausted all the time. I feel like internships should be fun. It should be a good time where you're learning and in an environment that feels safe, where you can learn and ask questions. I say talk to your guidance counselor at your school, because a lot of the times universities or community colleges have databases that have internships available, and they're always being updated. That's a really easy way to find an internship that you could apply to. You could check out internships.com. That's actually how I found my internships when I was in school. You can look on LinkedIn. You could also join networking groups for the industry on Facebook. A lot of the times I'll see posts about internship opportunities or people seeking internships, and the right people will reply. You can also reach out to different companies and just ask if they're looking for interns. You never know what could happen if you just cold email. We have this one girl right now at the radio station that I work for. She's currently shadowing one of the on-air staff, and she simply just reached out And we're like, hey, yeah, come through once a week and we'll teach you some stuff. So you just never know what could happen if you just cold email. Just also make sure you're doing your due diligence on these internships as well, because like I said, there are some internships that aren't the greatest. And so ask around, ask on networking Facebook groups, and just ask, hey, I just got an internship with this company. Does anyone have any experience with that? So the last thing you want is to work hard finding that internship and then getting excited of getting that internship and then eventually getting screwed over. But yeah, so that's like the best advice or ideas I have for you if you're currently looking for an internship and you're in school.
I will also say, so for me, I came from a small liberal arts college in South Carolina, so not a lot of music industry centric opportunities. But what worked for me at least was finding a mentor. So though you may not have like the resources to go in person or to keep up the 20-hour internship, you could also find a mentor who could help you build up your portfolio. The way my mentor and I worked together was he would give me either a problem that he experienced in his own career as a publicist, and then I would like write out how I would respond to it, or we would make pretend marketing proposal things. And so if like Carla was saying, internship is not feasible for you, I would also suggest reaching out to someone, maybe not in the first message, say, hey, can you be my mentor? Because that's a lot of responsibility, like to just put forth at the beginning, but just reaching out, ask for a virtual coffee if they're not, if they're too far away, or you can always, of course, meet up in person. So that's what I would suggest. But if you don't find a mentor, I would also suggest building up a portfolio of some kind. So even if you make a fake marketing proposal for like your favorite artist about like an upcoming album, of course, like note that it was a practice or mock-up proposal, just so obviously people know. But yeah, that's my suggestion.
I'd say if you can do an internship, you should. It's definitely a really important thing to have on your resume when you do go for jobs. Having more experience definitely puts you ahead of other candidates. What I will say is, unfortunately, most of them are unpaid. I think most of the entertainment industry internships I did were unpaid, but a lot of schools do have resources that you might not be aware of. My school was a business school, so we didn't have a ton of music management students, but we did have a small program where they offered funding and fellowships and whatnot that you had to apply for. So there are ways to find financial compensation, also just for women in the industry, because we are underrepresented. Even just doing a quick Google search, you might be able to find some scholarships and things that you can apply for. There are quite a few out there. I was always applying for different things. In terms of internships also, even if you feel like you're unqualified, apply anyway. A lot of times for women, we have imposter syndrome. And for an internship that says we have all of these qualifications we need, we won't apply even if we have most of them. Versus men, they'll typically go in and they'll apply even if they only have one of the requirements. So I'd say just go in, apply for everything possible. Of course, put your best foot forward, try to put in a good application, but just apply. I feel like for me, I would just apply for everything. Quantity, like with numbers, I feel like eventually someone was going to take me and want me as an intern. So that was really helpful for me. And then when you are on the job, just keep networking. You never know who will help you with your next position, your next internship. For me, that was really, really important.
It's definitely. So I'm gonna give it to our audience to ask any questions that you have. Make sure you raise your hands, or you can put it in the chat box so we can get started on any questions that you want us to answer. So somebody asked, how do you do a cover letter?
So for cover letters, you can probably also go to your guidance counselor to get like a specific format, and they might be able to give that to you, and you kind of like tailor it to whatever you want. What I'd say is really important for a cover letter is talking about the company specifically and why you want to work there. Because everybody can write a cover letter saying, oh, I love music, I love this is what's so special about me. But companies really want to know, like, what can you add to the team? What can you bring forward? Like, what special skills do you have? Why do you specifically want to work for them? I think that's what will really make you stand out versus other candidates, because it shows that you've really done your research on why you want to be there.
Just piggybacking off of what Anne-Marie said, I absolutely agree with everything. Make sure you are tailoring your cover letter for that specific company. I know it's so easy to just copy and paste your cover letter and just change out the company name, but it's really important to go through and do your research. Go look at their website, LinkedIn, look at the job description as well, and really tailor your cover letter for that specific company. And yes, add what you're able to bring to the table and what makes you quintessentially you, and that you are and what you could bring to the team.
Okay, I'm reading the next one. Someone said tips for recent graduates, especially with interviews. I have gotten, chat's moving fast now. I have gotten to final rounds for jobs and always end up getting rejected.
Being a recent grad is really tough. I graduated in 2020, so it was during the pandemic. So that was pretty difficult as well. You know, everybody was getting rejected from jobs. Nobody was really hiring. It's a bit of a struggle. I'd say just keep applying. Like I said, quantity is so important. Keep applying. Just get any position that will get your foot in the door. Even for me, when I started working at HBO, I never thought I would work in finance. I do have a business degree, but I never really wanted to work in finance. And now I actually really like it quite a bit. And I've been able to network with like the creative side, and like eventually I'm hoping to transition to that. So just keep applying. You really don't know like what this will lead to and like what the next step will be. Also, just send messages on LinkedIn, meet up with people for coffee chats, go to networking events. All of these things are really important. I think really building that network is probably the biggest key to actually getting a job in the industry.
Yes, definitely network. And also just keep applying. I know it's really frustrating, especially coming out of COVID and everything slowly coming back to some kind of normalcy. Just keep applying and never lose sight of everything that it is that you want to pursue. Also, if you can and you have the time try to start building your resume and your portfolio. Like I mentioned, I used to volunteer at food festivals just to keep my skills sharp and to learn new things and just keep myself in the event space. So if you could do something similar like that you could continue adding onto your resume and then just reapply, because you could get rejected for a number of reasons. There are some companies out there that legally put the job online, but they know they're just going to hire someone from within. That's what happened with my last role out in LA. They put it online, but they eventually just hired someone within the company because they legally had to do it. But it's also important to also just, volunteer as much as you can, reach out to people on LinkedIn, on social media, and just keep building your networking and also finding opportunities outside of what it is that you want to do. So you could add that to your resume and reapply, because you never know, maybe the reason why they rejected you was because of the lack of experience, maybe. So if you go back in and try again with some new experience, that could really help as well.
I do want to add to, because like we were saying before, I also graduated in May 2020, and so that was a bit of a struggle. I will say your first job doesn't need to be in music. The route I went is that you could do a work from home or remote job if that's feasible for you, and then also build something on the side. So whether it's your actual portfolio, you end up choosing to make like an online page about your favorite artists, et cetera, et cetera. So again, like to be honest, like it is a struggle essentially to find a career or job within the music industry without the experience initially. But I will say going the route of finding that remote job, and you have your actual jobs like laptop to the left side and then your personal laptop to the right side, and you're building up your portfolio. I would definitely, there's no shame in that.
Okay, guys, the meeting time's about to be over. I'm sorry about the limit, but we're gonna join another one. Since I'm still a small business, I still have to work on getting the Zoom upgrade, so there won't be any time limit. I put the meeting ID and password in the chat. Also, I'll put my email in the chat just in case anyone has any problems. They can email me so I can let you in. So I'll let you guys time to copy the password and meeting ID, and then we'll join anyone. Everyone got it? Good.